Hello, you guys. Hello, hello. Hi, Nikki. Yes, go lay down, girl. You have had a long day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to all the single moms out there. And happy fur fathers to like Larry out there, fathers of the fur pets. Whew. Shit is crazy out there. I just briefly wanted to say that nobody speaks for me aside from me. I am a 30-year-old woman, and if I have something to say, I will say it myself. So please don't hold me accountable for what someone else says. It's pretty sad at this point. If you have an issue with someone, block them. Go do your own thing. Go watch your own channel that you enjoy. But enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm trying to do my own thing, focus on my own content, surround myself with the people who genuinely support me and love me. And I suggest that everyone else should go do that too. What I've witnessed in this last month is vile. And I'm not sitting here trying to play victim. I'm not sitting here trying to say that I'm innocent. I'm not. But enough is enough. Time to move on. Okay? If I had something to say, I would come on my own platform, my own channel, and say it. So I think everyone else needs to chill the hell out. Just chill the hell out. You're not going to get the reaction from me that you're looking for. You all just seem obsessive and crazy at this point. Move forward. Sorry, guys. I had to say that. I blocked everyone. I've blocked everyone. I do not have communication with anyone. So for all the people that's still going around talking about this, bringing my name up, leaving nasty comments on my channel, does it make you feel better? For real? Does it make you feel better? I'm just trying to talk about aliens and time travel and bizarre cases. If you don't like it, don't watch. Go somewhere that brings you happiness. Because at the end of the day, we are not promised tomorrow. Okay? And none of this shit matters. None of this shit matters. So go fill your days up with the people that you love, with the people who make you smile, and have a laugh. That's it. So moving forward, we are going to be discussing time travel and the curious case of John Titor. Nikki did get stuck in a window today, okay? She might have been the cutest pregnant girl ever, halfway with her bump through a window and her other feet sticking out the other end, but that genuinely brought a smile to my face. Oh, well, thank you, Molson Man. I really do appreciate that. Molson Man, have you looked into the Mandela effect yet? You and me both, Larry. Okay, so let me get up. Sorry for that rant, you guys. But yes, Shelly, Nikki got stuck in a window. Nikki's artistic creative side had a calling when she saw an older barn that intrigued her. So her idea is, being 26 weeks pregnant, let me just hop through on it there and let me see what's going on in the inside. One of the many reasons why I love. What? Did I drop Alex Erickson's name instead of what did I do? Well, that's Alex Erickson's TikTok account, if anybody is interested in that. Well, how do I get the StreamYard link? Sorry, guys. Copy. Oh, definitely. Look it up, Molson. You'll like it. Okay. So tonight's guests, of course, is going to be Allegedly with Brittney J and Bryn Williams. She went forward in time. Yes, it's where Larry and Alex first met back on TikTok. I've never had a TikTok. I feel like one of those old parents that it's like, what's a TikTok? Hi, Buttercup. Hi, Miss Dizzy Lee. Dizzy Lizzie. Oh, my goodness. I'm actually really excited. So how many of you guys have you heard about the John Titor case? Oh, hi, Miss A. Hello, Bryn.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Excellent. Yeah, I didn't have my other YouTube muted. So yeah, this is awesome. I didn't know about this particular guy until you sent me the name, and holy cow, I looked into it briefly, and yeah, what it's amazing, unbelievable. But
it's an interesting one.
Yeah, my first question though is I have to ask, because this will inform exactly my opinion about everybody here in the chat, and it's a very important question, and it's something that everybody should be asking themselves all the time. Would you rather travel forward in time or back in time if you only could do one of the two? I'm very interested in chat too. What do you think?
I would most likely travel forward because I'd want to obviously know, because with past, we know what it was. We know what it was like. We could study it. But with the future, the possibilities are endless. We know what it was. We know what it was like. Ooh, that's me. Study it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
100%.
Hey, Jet's mom. Nikki chooses back. Of course, Nikki would choose back in time. What would you choose, Bryn?
See, I'm the same way. I would want to see beyond my lifetime. I think that would be, for good or bad. I want to know, because I know a lot about what happened in the past, but to be able to see beyond where I'm going to live, I think would be very cool. Yeah.
If you could choose a time to go back in, what time would you choose?
Oh, I think, yeah, that's a tough one because there's so much great stuff all the time. I would probably choose the 50s.
Good time period.
Yeah, but I mean, there's always really bad stuff. I mean, like the 50s is not a great time for women or minorities or, people like that. And that's, terrible. But I love the music and I love the fashion and I love I just love the idea that any guy can get a job and buy a house with a picket fence and the wife can stay home and look after the kids. Not that that has to be that way, but like
that's how my mentality works. I'm not a feminist, I like that old school mentality.
Yeah, but just the idea that an American family could buy a house on one income and somebody could stay home and that to be able to live the American dream that was really a golden time in America. It
was. With the cars, I love the cars back in the 1950s.
Absolutely.
Oh, Molson, that's a really good, I like that you just said that because the case that we're going to be referring to tonight, that incorporates in it, actually.
I heard that part too. I get that. I totally get it. I would love to see my parents, maybe not as kids, but as young adults, or be able to go back to when my father was the same age I am now. That would be interesting to go back and kind of sneak a peek at what he's doing. Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that too, Jennifer Green. See, I love everything that you guys are saying because this one case of John Titor, and there are many documented cases of what appears to be time travel, but John Titor was one of the most known ones because it occurred back in 2000, the early 2000s, starting in 2000, when the internet was just starting to come up. And so it's recorded in history, all the claims that he's made and whatnot. And it's really interesting when we actually had middle class. Yeah, so I'm surprised you haven't heard of this one, Bryn.
Well, that was interesting because I'd heard of parts of it. I'd seen almost all the pictures, but I hadn't seen the story being connected in that way. So yeah, it shocked me too that I hadn't heard of that, been down that rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit
of this
hole.
guy. Yeah, I heard bits and pieces of it, but I never put the whole thing together. Like I went to the website for the first time today. And
JohnTitor.com.
Yeah.
I forgot. I'll add that to the description, guys. There's an entire website, www.johntitor.com. I'll put it in the description. But it has every single post he made documented and all of the drawings and illustrations he made. And we'll get into that throughout the live. But it's very interesting.
Yeah, like it's amazing that it's all compiled in this one place. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just waiting for Brittany, or else actually I could probably just get started, because before we discuss it, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown of John Titor, who he was, what his claims were, and whatnot. So I'm going to drop it. Hi, Janessa. Very good to see you. Hi, Shelly Love, true crime analyst. So good to see you here in live chat. Okay. So I know Brittany's already familiar with John Titor, so I'm just going to get started with giving you guys the rundown, okay? Buckle up. You got your tinfoil hat, Bryn?
Yeah, I know. I had to use it for lasagna.
All right, that's a good enough excuse. That's a good enough excuse. Oh, Jet's mom, you know about John Titor? He was fascinating. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to start. Ready? Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I get excited for this. I don't know. All right. So John Titor appeared in internet forums in the early 2000s. Keep in mind, this is before Wi-Fi, wireless internet. This was like the startup. You had to plug it in, all that stuff. So in November 2000, John Titor claimed to be a time traveler and was going around internet forums telling people what would be happening in 2036, the year he allegedly came from. Eventually, he completely disappeared from the internet and hasn't been heard of since. This is, hold on, Brittany. Hello, Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi. How are you?
Very good. Yes, Buttercup, we'll get into that.
Hey, I'm here and I will be back in a second, okay?
Yep, I'm just going through a little breakdown, a little synopsis.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So John said, "My goal is not to be believed. Perhaps I should let you all know in on a little secret. No one likes you in the future. This time period is looked at being full of lazy, self-centered, civically ignorant sheep. Perhaps you should be less concerned about me and more concerned about that." Which, this is 2000, so I gotta give it to him there, you know. So one of his predictions was there was a secret function that was on an IBM computer, which was a new computer at that time. He claimed the secret function on it would be able to translate any language. Claimed IBM was keeping it from the public just so the competition wouldn't get a hang of it. So basically, these brand new IBM computers that were just released at that time carried this secret function where it would be able to translate any language, into a different language, but not just our languages, also computer language. People tried to access that secret function, but they failed. After 2004, once John disappeared, IBM announces the computers do, in fact, have this secret function. It's been there the whole time. So then John made a post, and he, I quote, said, "Care to share with me how you solved the overheating problem on your space plane?" A weird way to say it's space plane, right? Then in 2003, Columbia spacecraft, which had 7 crew members, exploded due to overheating. John Titor popped up in internet forums in November 2000, December 2000, January 2001, February 2001, and March 2001. He claimed he came from a military group on a mission to go to 1975 to deal with that exact IBM computer. In 2036, everyone is recovering from a war. He is a soldier during that war, and he ended up being recruited to do these time-traveling missions. According to John, you can take physical things with you as you time travel. His original mission was to go back to 1975 because his grandfather worked on these IBM computers. Basically, after the war, we lost all of our communication systems and computers. And we needed this old function on the computer that allowed us to talk in different languages and computer languages. Let me flip my page. You have to remember, nobody knew the computer even had that function at that time. He said that it was very common for the military to send soldiers back in time who had relatives they needed something from. Because if you send a member from within their family who knows personal information, it's a lot easier for them to believe, hey, I'm a time travel from 2036, and I need something from you. John claims something happened in 1975. People believe something John did stopped Y2K. Now, if you remember Y2K, when it went from 1999 to 2000, the media was in hysterics. Everyone thought the world was going to crash. Do you remember that, Bryn?
Oh yeah, yeah, big stories. I was telling you, I think before, about the moon landing. It was right around that time, like 97, 98, when I started listening to Art Bell. And even 2 years before, he was talking about Y2K kits, and he was selling this stuff and was talking about Y2K. So me especially, I was freaked out about Y2K. Yeah. And I'll never forget that that New Year's Eve, and looking out in the city and hoping that you didn't see the blackout. And I was
crying.
Yeah. I was at a house party, and the guy hit the breaker right around midnight, and all the power in the house went out.
No! Oh my God!
Funny. But yeah, it was. I was very afraid that all that stuff was going to get wiped, and everyone was very nervous just because they didn't know, right?
I remember I was 8 or 9, and I was hysterical. Like, we thought, we didn't even know what the computers meant, but the whole computer system was going to crash and everything was going to stop and end. And even Alex Jones had his own radio show telling you what to stock up on and for the end of the world. It was so crazy. But basically, something John did back in 1975 stopped Y2K, allegedly. Whatever happened, he had to make an unplanned stop to 2000. He said it was not part of his mission. He arrived in 1988, right before he was born. So he went back in time to 1988, right before he himself was born. Convinced his family of who he was, moved in with them, stayed with his parents for that period of time, and his younger child self. So he went back to 1988, right before he was born, convinced his family, I am your son from the future. They believed him. He lived with them, and he eventually was there while his younger self was born and lived with him. Mind-boggling. John was willing to answer all questions about anything on these internet forums, aside from specific people, natural disasters, or anything you could profit off of. The time machine, I'm going to share this with you guys. Hold on. So along with what John was alleging, he had an extreme understanding of complex physics. So it's not like he was just talking out of his butt. He had a real understanding of these physics. And he also drew diagrams of his time machine. And people tried to debunk this. People tried to figure out, did this diagram come from something else Nothing. People still don't know where this came from. So hold on.
Aren't there photos of the time machine?
Yep.
Yeah, not just drawings, but actual pictures, right?
Yep. So this is the actual diagram that John Titor gave to them.
He drew this?
No, apparently he didn't draw this. This was the diagram that came with it.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. So the time machine was about 500 pounds and could fit inside of a suitcase. It had to be moved via a car because of how heavy it was. It had to take at least 2 people to lift this. So he would actually travel within a car like the DeLorean. He posted diagrams and pictures of this machine. This is one of the diagrams.
It's not nearly as cool as a DeLorean, though. I got to say. It's like an 87 Chevy or something.
Oh, my God. Okay. So according to John, now if anyone remembers, I think it was our Mandela Effect Live, we spoke about this briefly. So if you hear something sounds familiar, it's because we had already been getting into this. So apparently the time machines is made out of 2 mini black holes called microsingularities. If you eject electrons onto them, it will alter their spin and it will create a gravity field which will allow you to move back and forth. He claims that it is a bunch of parallel universes that you are tapping into. It is impossible to get back onto the original timeline you started from. You will always return to a timeline that is slightly different than your own, hence the Mandela effect. We always said, well, at some point it feels like we were on this timeline where it was the Berenstain Bears, not the Berenstain Bears. Tony the Tiger had a black nose, not a blue nose, all of these things, and something shifted. Well, according to John Titor's theory, back in 2000, and yet 2021 today, this is the most plausible scientific explanation we have in regards to there's parallel universes happening. So what he's trying to say is that at the same time, all around us, we are ourselves are in a bunch of different timelines, different universes. And if I want to jump to a different timeline right now, I could never get back to the timeline I'm in right now. I'll always go to maybe the closest timeline compared to mine, but things will always be different, like a Mandela effect. John claimed that what we see as UFOs are really our future selves time traveling, which actually is a very plausible theory. Who's to say that that's extraterrestrial beings? How do you know that's just not our future selves traveling through time?
And traveling through space is the same thing as traveling through time. We talked about that, right? So it's one and the same.
Yep. His machine only worked for 60 years. So basically, he could either go 60 years in the past or 60 years in the future. Anything more than that would disrupt the timeline and massive changes will occur. So basically, there is only a 1% to 2% difference that would be allowed to change. Anything more, like going back more than 60 years, even the slightest thing that he would change would cause this huge butterfly effect. And the ripple would be too much. You couldn't do something like that. John said, okay, keep in mind, you guys, this is back in 2000, 2001, 2002 latest. John said CERN would make the first artificial mini black holes and the entire ability to travel through time without being crushed by gravity. Am I crazy, or did we not just talk about this, Bryn?
Yes, we did.
We talked about this, you guys, because CERN created the Hadron Collider, where they are smashing particles together at the speed of light to create mini black holes. He predicted this back in 2000. John said it's not really time traveling versus entering a different universe at whatever time you want. So it's not so much we're traveling back and forth through this timeline. You are really jumping into a parallel universe, a parallel timeline, and entering that timeline.
So does that timeline contain you as well then?
So apparently, yes, apparently you can, because John did live with his younger self.
Okay.
But one thing that he covered is basically, if I leave this timeline, well, then that means I don't exist in this timeline. But he says, no, there will always be another you that jumps to that timeline and takes your space. So it's really confusing, but interesting.
Me too, Larry. I need a new timeline as well.
Hi, Megan. Okay. So John said Stephen Hawking would come forward and admit that his biggest mistake of his career was getting it wrong on how black holes worked. Later on, Stephen Hawking did come forward and admit that his biggest mistake was getting it wrong how black holes worked. The family of John Titor have a legitimate lawyer. You could look it up. Like I said, go on johntitor.com. Everything is there. And all of the family's info is kept private for their own protection. John Titor's mom has admitted that many of the posts John made were from different versions of John. So it's not like when he came back in 2000, he made all these posts. No, he would come back in 2000, make one, jump forward, come back at another time. So each time he'd come back, it wasn't the same version of John. It's a different version of John. And basically, multiple Johns are jumping around, making these internet posts for the other versions of himself to see. So really, when John's jumping back and forth, he's making these internet posts, but he's also doing them to keep track of himself. So when his future self or when an alternate John comes around, he's able to track what's going on, where he left off, and whatnot like that. Okay, so back in 2001, before 9/11, you guys, Art Bell had a show. Art Bell received a fax from John Titor in the past. He said, I quote, "In my future, there's a tower in New York. There is a big skyscraper. Where is it?" You could go back to Art Bell's show and watch this. Later that year, 9/11 occurs. Obviously, the towers fall. So that's crazy. The fact that you can, even if you don't want to believe anything about John Titor or anything like that, you could go back and watch Art Bell's show where they received a fax from someone named John Titor in the past saying, what happened? There used to be this huge skyscraper in New York. Where did it go? And later that year, 9/11 occurred. I'm leaving a gap of time for the shock to set in, at least my shock.
Yeah, well, I don't understand what he means when he says he sent a message fax from the past.
I got confused with that too, because wouldn't it be from the future?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So how is it from it was dated in the past? It was.
I don't know if he was on an alternate timeline now where something happened that the towers never existed, or maybe it was his future self, but in the past. You know what I'm saying? Because he's from the future. So if he's in 2036, clearly that tower didn't, there is no tower. But if he's back in 1975, there is a tower. So he's probably asking, where did that tower go? I know, it makes my head hurt too.
And I think in 75, they were probably just finishing the second tower. That's when it was just going up.
Did you talk about his time machine?
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you tell them where he said it was located?
Inside the car?
Yeah.
The
I was just
DeLorean?
thinking about it. It's installed in the rear of a 1966 Chevy Corvette. It just makes me think about the Fast and the Furious. I mean, not the Fast and the Furious, but what's that one called?
Back to the Future.
Back
to the Future. Yeah. Why did I say the Fast and the Furious?
Because they have awesome cars. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. I guess so.
It is crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, I have a little bit more notes and then we will discuss it. So, John predicts what he calls internet nodes, which is basically wireless internet. Okay, at that time, they didn't have wireless internet. Well, Wi-Fi eventually comes out, and he predicted how all of it would work. So not only, you guys, it's not like he's just dropping the posts, okay? He would very thoroughly explain how it would work, where the input with the output, what this would be, and we'll go through some of his diagrams because he's legitimately, that's why even to this day, all these physicists and scientists and everyone, engineers, have put their minds to try to debunk it, but there was no way to debunk what he was saying. He claimed, okay, so this is where he got a little bit off. John claimed that basically a civil war would happen, that we would be fighting each other. It sounds a little bit off because he claimed that this would happen in 2010, but you have to also remember he talked about that 1% to 2% change where maybe on a different timeline, it did happen by 2010. And for us on our timeline, it's just a little bit further back because it feels like we are on our way. Good luck, Megan. I hope you win big. It feels like we're on our way to a civil war right now. He said he lives in a time in 2036 where we are basically recovering from that war. But on a grand scale of things, it was the best thing to happen for humanity. Between all the overpopulation and the way that the government was running and stuff, it was actually a positive thing. In the time he lives in, it's a militia where everyone basically has to serve some type of role in the military. Everything was decentralized. There was no Federal Reserve, but they still have money, credit cards, and banks. Just a fun fact, he said there's a lot less electronic music and more instruments used as a community healing. And yeah, so let's discuss it. Oh, I'll say one more thing. John Titor says the way you got to think about all these alternate universes, multiverses, is if you're standing in a fun house with all those mirrors around you, and you look to the left and you see you here and you see you there and and it's reflecting off of one another, and you look to the right and it's the same thing. That's kind of how the multiverse and alternate realities work, where even though you're standing there, you are currently simultaneously happening all around you in a bunch of different places. So even if you move forward, your alternate self is going to move forward too, but in a slightly different reality. So what do you guys think?
So just a crazy story.
I know.
Yeah, what I love about these kind of conspiracy theories, and this is what I think we've talked about this before, is I love to go back and try and find what the root is, right? So when I found out about this, I'm like, well, so where's the root? What do people think it is? So it's interesting that it goes back to John Titor's not like we can't actually prove that he's an actual person that has existed. They think it's this guy's brother. I think he was a radio producer, and his brother is a mechanical engineer. And so they thought they'd put together this story or whatever. I think that's what people are claiming. But at the same time, then I love this stuff, and you go, wow, a lot of that stuff is pretty amazing that he was able to get so much of it on track. And he was able to sort of answer a lot of the questions. Like if you think about it, it's a really hard thing. How do you prove that you're from the future, right? If you come back
right.
and you have to prove that. So he really did kind of take a really scientific approach, and And I thought, yeah, like you said, a lot of the science was based in fact. And I'm just not sure if it's just bunk because it goes over my head because I don't understand it, or whether or not that's actually legit science. I don't know.
What do you think, Brittany?
Okay, can you hear me okay? Because our internet is being crazy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I just go back over
anything you want.
Okay, this whole deal about him predicting the civil unrest, I lost my spot. I had it. Yeah, where he says that there'll be a civil war and that it would start in 2004.
He predicted it. He said by in 2004, 2006, people will start shooting each other on the streets. But by 2010, there'll be a full-on civil war.
Right. Okay. And when he said that it would be because of a presidential election, like I guess between the presidential election that year, and that it would lead to Waco type events daily, and that it would end up on the doorsteps of all the American people. And then that will lead to America splitting into 5 different regions. That sounds like the new map, like the theme districts. Even though it's not 5 districts, it's like 9. It still sounds similar. So even though he was off on that, I'm sorry, it's happening now. And it could be, you know anything about the elites, they change their agendas and they push them back all the time. So it could be he was right, and they just decided that they weren't ready for it at that time, right?
Yep.
Till later.
Well,
exactly
like he kept saying, there's like a 1 to 2%, there's a 1 to 2% amount of change that could happen. So when you look at that on the grand scale of infinity, that's a lot, so you may think, oh, by 2010 it didn't happen. We're a whole 11 years later. No. He was jumping back and forth, if you're following what he's claiming, from different timelines. And like we keep saying, each timeline is very similar, but different in some way. So who's to say that a civil war hadn't already started in a different timeline by 2004, 2006, but it didn't happen for us yet, or a ripple happened in our timeline where it no longer happened.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think a lot of people also might make the argument that the United States has been in a civil war maybe in the last 3 years or something like that.
It really feels like that, yeah.
And maybe it's not called a quote unquote civil war, but it really does seem like there is, a lot of division straight down the middle, 50% against 50% kind of right at each other's throats.
Mm-hmm. And just like Buttercup said, she said, he also said we would find a new way of hearing the news, that mainstream was not letting us know all the news. And yes, that is another prediction he made. I would advise all you guys to go to johntitor.com, because that person documented every prediction he made, every post he made. And it's really an interesting website to go through. Yeah. But yeah, he did. And guess what? Now, along with Wi-Fi, we do have our other source of news, whether it's Facebook, YouTube. It's not mainstream media.
And you should look up, it's Agenda 2030. Basically split America up, divide us, and put us in districts, each region off. And you can find this. It's like, just look up on Google, Agenda 2030 map. Futuristic maps of America, and if you look that up, I think it makes like Denver our capital. Denver, Colorado would be our capital. Like, they change everything.
Oh, not Colorado. There's something in the air in Colorado with all those true crime cases going on.
I thought he changed it to Ohio. Didn't I read that the capital changed to Ohio?
You might be right. But I know Denver it plays a big role for something. It'll be like a huge future city. What do they call it? Like, what's that called for the cities? It's like there's a name for it for the new cities, but it'll be like 3 or 4, I think, big cities in the future.
New York's not going to be one of them?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look again, but it's
it
like,
was, yeah, Omaha, Nebraska is where he said the new capital, U.S. capital is.
Yep. Oh my God. Yep. Molson Man just said that. Really, Molson Man? Oh, see.
wait a minute, Omaha, Nebraska would be the capital?
Yep.
Yeah.
He said Omaha, Nebraska. I read that on my brief research today. I love how you did research, Molson Man. I'm not the only one. And yeah, Janessa, 2020 was a year. I can't imagine what the future will describe it as.
And I know this is off topic, but I just hope Larry knows that both the New York Islanders and your other team there that you mentioned, the Capitals, both suck.
Larry, you could come up if you want.
Go Habs.
So there are other time traveling stories that I will definitely do on a live, but this one was one of the ones that's most documented, and I just wanted to see what you guys, I'm hiding in the Catskills, what you guys think about it. Like, do you believe it? Are you on the fence? There's really no way to prove one way or the other, but this family still has this lawyer to this day, and his mom has come out and made statements saying that this is true.
That's, yeah. And I mean, there's just so much information on there too. His posts are pretty prolific over a number of years.
And he was so accurate though.
Yeah.
Like, much as you want to say, listen, you got to give people room if you're following along with the theory of his version of time travel, which again, you guys, scientists today say that that's the most, okay, if you've ever seen the movie Interstellar, they say that that's the most accurate form of time travel that we can get. So even though if you're leaving this planet and going on a spaceship and you are going through a black hole to another planet, and it takes you 2 years while being on that spaceship to go to that planet and come back to us, that could mean 80 years passed on Earth. Time is all relative. So who time traveled? Did the people on Earth time travel? Did the person in the spacecraft time travel? No, it's just the version of times are two completely different, because time is not a linear thing and time doesn't exist. It's all relative to where you are. So take a look at Interstellar, because it's a great movie. Matthew McConaughey, it shows you how time is different depending on where you are. They will go to one planet, and 8 minutes on this planet is actually 16 years in Earth time, but that's how they're able to travel through space and time, is through black holes. So really you're, again, with that piece of paper trick, instead of traveling across all the way, you just bend time and space and you go through it.
Yeah.
Yep, niece. Yep. Have you ever seen the movie Interstellar?
I love the movie Interstellar.
It's one of my favorites.
It makes me cry. Oh my God. When he's watching the videos of his daughter. Oh.
When he has to catch up on her entire life and seeing her from being a small child growing up. Oh, and his expression, nobody has seen the movie Interstellar. Not only was it a phenomenal movie, but I also love movies that get it right scientifically, and they got it right, in regards to, they are the first movie. I don't think anyone realizes how much money they put in to producing a simulation of a black hole that would most appear, because at this time, we never visually saw a black hole. It's not something you could see with the naked eye. So they put so much time and money into having the best of the best reproduce what a black hole would look like if we were ever able to get close enough to see it with the naked eye. And that's awesome, because like you could also have the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock, where her hair is just perfectly in place and it's not even floating. You know, like, I don't like that. Get it real, get it right, you know? And that movie nailed it, and it nailed time travel.
The other film that I've heard that they say is one of the best time travel films, this is more about a time machine, is a movie called Primer.
I've never seen it.
Oh my goodness, it's a cult classic. It was done in the early aughts, like early 2000s. Primer. Yeah, and it's been called the most complex time travel movie of all time. Like, there are hour-long YouTube videos trying to explain the plot line, because that's exactly what it does. It creates so many different multiple timelines, and how an actual time machine would work, and how when you go to a new time, you're not you in that new time. There's a new you there, and you're in a new time. And yeah, it's amazing film. But holy cow, that film I had to see maybe 4 or 5 times. Yeah. So what about chat? What's your favorite time travel movie?
Yeah. What's your guys' favorite time travel movie? Yes, true crime analyst. Look how many planes have went into a black hole. Well, that brings up the whole Bermuda Triangle. And what I think happens at the Bermuda Triangle is that it is some type of portal. Something happens where it throws the gravitational pull, the magnetic field off, because what we know about the Bermuda Triangle is all the instrumentation goes awry. It goes crazy. It's not able to stay on focus. But it's not only that, because we never have any evidence of the wreckage. It's not like something is just causing the instruments to go crazy, which causes a crash. There is no form of the wreckage whatsoever ever recovered. What do you think about that?
I think that it's a portal as well. And that's what happened to that flight not long ago that went missing.
Malaysia Air flights,
yes.
870, what is it? Which is a weird one.
Yeah, I really think that's what happened, but I could be way wrong.
Larry, you don't know what happened to the Malaysian Air flight? Oh my God, Bryn, you know a Malaysian Air flight, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
It just disappeared, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the Malaysian Air Flight 370 was a scheduled international passenger flight operated by Malaysia Airlines that disappeared on March 8th, 2014, while flying from Kuala Lumpur International Airport to Beijing. Now, I know, I'm just saying what happened. Now, the recorded audio on that flight, because like basically when a plane is in the sky and they're crossing over different places, like it'll transfer from one radio tower to now it's, you're on a whole nother radio tower once you enter in different territory. And so the last thing that they have was the flight, the pilot saying, like, good night, Malaysian Air, 378, whatever they said. And then nothing. It just totally went off course. They were not able to track it. It was hours before they even realized it went missing. If you look at the press conferences, the family were throwing shoes at them and everything. Like, where's our family members? Like, what do you mean you don't know where it is? How does this huge commercial airplane just vanish? And I'm sorry, I don't believe the little bit of wreckage that they found now years later. I don't believe it.
I don't either. Didn't they say that the plane itself just vanished on radar, like it turned around and then it just disappeared?
It just vanished.
My husband just said he thought there was more than one. Does that sound familiar?
There was two Malaysian Air flights. One got shot down actually. But this one, yes, exactly. They actually said, good night. Yeah, they said, hold on, let me read it.
Yeah, it's just really rare for airlines like that when they crash to find no wreckage, because they're designed to get wreckage. And so when they couldn't find anything, that's why it's always weird. because you think you're going to see a seat cushion or a bit of debris or something, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm. The black box stopped pinging days after. It had 227 passengers and 12 crew members on board. Malaysia's former Prime Minister, Najib Razak, stated that the aircraft's flight ended somewhere in the Indian Ocean, but no further explanation had been given. Despite searchers finding debris considered with strong, yes, but it was way after, and it was like the wing, and there was no certainty that they could link it up with that flight. You know, it's almost like they were getting such bad backlash, they had to find something. Official announcements were questioned by many critics, and several theories about the disappearance were proposed. Some of these theories were described as conspiracy theories. Oh yeah, Larry, JFK's crash too is just.
There was never no explanation for that shit.
No, they claimed it. They found wreckage, but we don't believe it.
Like who the fuck would shoot him down? It didn't make any sense. It never made any sense.
Well, they theorized that the pilot, who had his own generated system at home where he could do these flight simulations, they tried to say that this was like a murder-suicide, that he basically, because the whole thing is that the airplane did not have enough gas to get far, you know, like to get anywhere. They didn't have enough gas once he made and went off course towards the Indian Ocean. Even if he just let this plane run, it would have eventually came crashing down. So that's why they theorized it went into the ocean. But when they went back to his house and looked at his simulation history, they said that he practiced a flight where it was the exact coordinates of where he took the flight. You know, so they were basically trying to pin it on this man who had a wife and children. And why would this very experienced airline pilot just decide to not only kill himself, but take down 227 passengers and 8 crew members? Why would they do that? But I think that was a scapegoat. I think that something else happened, and they found a way to blame it on the captain. They had to hold someone liable.
Because if they could, if they were to say, oh, well, it just disappeared through this black hole or whatever you want to call it, then everybody's going to go crazy. There'll be chaos.
And they even tried to say that because they're able to document the exact how the plane was flown. The same thing with 9/11, that they were able to, you know, like the wing dipped down to the left or whatever. And they said that as he was passing his hometown or where he was born, he dipped his wing down to the left to basically give it a last nod, you know, like a last goodbye. But it doesn't make sense.
Right. That would mean that this man would have to have some knowledge on how to make a plane invisible to radar.
That's the whole thing. How did this plane become invisible? And the flight attendants, you know, as a passenger on board, I guess not many of us will know if a flight goes off course. You know, it's not like we're going to be like, that felt different. But the flight attendants are aware. And if something happened, they would have been alerting down to central base and notifying someone. So they also theorized that the pilot did something where he either depleted the plane of oxygen or something with releasing a certain gas that would have made all of the passengers basically pass out and die first, and then just ran the plane until it ran out of gas. Oh yes, Molson man, the flight indicator was manually turned off. So someone went and manually shut off the beaker that will allow ground base to know where they are. Weird.
So I'm very curious what you think.
I just wanted to address Megan J. She keeps mentioning the shoes. Oh,
you're
go
good.
ahead.
Go ahead, Britt.
Go ahead, Brittany. What about the shoes?
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. My internet is so bad right now. Megan mentioned shoes in the chat, and I've noticed she's mentioned it a couple of times. She's talking about this theory, this conspiracy theory. I was just going to say, Megan, I will talk to Melissa and see if she will cover that about the red shoes.
The red shoes?
Yeah, I'll let you and Bryn finish. If Bryn wanted to know your theory on the plane, I'll tell you about it. I don't want to throw us off topic.
I love getting thrown off topic.
Yeah.
We started talking about time travel. Now we're on Malaysian 370. I love it. Keep it going.
Okay, so the red shoes, and I'm hoping that's what she's talking about. I'm almost certain. And it's not even just red shoes. But anyway, these celebrities and politicians have this thing for...
Oh, Macaulay Culkin!
Yeah.
With the red shoes!
Supposedly they sacrifice the children, and it's kind of like the Red Shoe Club. And then Tom Hanks is real big with it. And it's basically like you see the Pope and all of his whatever you call those people.
The elite with the red shoes. Macaulay Culkin, who obviously was a very young childhood actor. Yes. He said, I forgot the meeting he was in right after he filmed Home Alone. I forgot what director he was in the room with, but he said that basically these guys are perverts, you know, they're perverts. They take these young childhood stars and they put them in an industry where there's a lot of, you know, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it, you know, the M word and child abuse and whatnot. And the guy directed him to look at his shoes, and it was a red leather shoe. And basically he implied to Macaulay Culkin, and you could watch Macaulay's interview. He's talked about this, basically implying that this is the blood and skin of victims. And it's something that the elite of the elite wear. If you actually do a simple Google search, all these big people are wearing these red shoes.
Wow, that's pretty messed up.
And it's not only that, but there's a lot of shoe symbology as well. Think about Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, her ruby red slippers. Annie, Little Orphan Annie, she has red shoes. There's so many different movies and TV shows and things like in music videos where they wear the red shoes, and it's symbolism for sacrificing children and drinking the adrenochrome, which is a whole topic on its own.
A whole other topic.
You see the Pope, and what are the Pope's? I'm Christian. I don't know the stuff about Catholicism. What are the people that work around him called?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but
Pope guys.
So, yeah, the Pope's henchmen, all of them. You can find pictures of the Pope and all of his people wearing these red leather shoes. And Tom Hanks,
Tom Hanks has a really weird Instagram.
Yeah, there you go.
His fashion's on fleek.
But what really gets me is that these things are supposedly made with the skin and the blood of children.
Yes, Larry, you're absolutely right. And we were planning on doing a live dedicated on adrenochrome in itself. But yeah, basically, especially in a child, you have the what is it called? The
pineal gland.
The pineal gland, or your third eye, where inside of it, it's an adrenochrome. So basically, it's what you can drink to keep your youth, keep your beauty, whatever they think it does. So what they'll do is they'll cause a child, because a child has the purest kind, and cause them extreme fear. So they'll torture them and kill them. And when they remove it, apparently the fear makes it even more powerful, and they'll drink this adrenochrome or eat it. I don't know how they consume it. But this is something that is widely known. Yeah, Pizzagate.
Do you think it's got Melissa, a lot of carbs in it?
Oh my God, really? Melissa, did you see or have you heard of the celebrities with black eyes? Have you seen that?
Yes. Oh my God, yes. I swear I've seen everything. It's just a matter of when you say it, it reminds me of it. Yes, Macaulay Culkin discussed this. So Macaulay Culkin has his own podcast called The Bunny Ears, and he talks about what it was like being a young childhood star in that industry, the really messed up things that he's experienced. He was even on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he explains this story. I don't do it any justice, you guys, but about basically this elite of this movie producer, was trying to hit on him basically, and he was trying to use a fear tactic by showing him his red shoes and explaining to him what it symbolized, what it meant. And it's really eerie watching him talk about it. But anyone go into YouTube, search Macaulay Culkin, bunny ears, or just, something will pop up.
That's so crazy. I'm just so happy that I don't happen to own any red shoes.
Right?
Yeah, because that's
Also, with Macaulay Culkin's bunny ears, the white rabbit also is symbolism for pedophilia as well. You'll see that everywhere.
Well, and you look at the two Coreys, Corey Feldman and Corey, I forgot the other one's name, Hames, that died. But Corey Feldman has been speaking out about this since he was a young child star, and what him and the other Corey had to go through, and being, the M word and sexually abused and whatnot. And it's terrifying, and people would rather chalk you up as a conspiracy theorist or a psycho and close the book. Yet, no, this is really happening, and look what you do. Like, Corey Feldman has really struggled. Like, his entire life, he has really struggled with this, and it's messed him up, and it's not right. But this is what money and power does. You want to close your eyes to it and turn the other way and pretend it's not happening, but it is happening.
Yeah, and it wasn't even until recently, until the government really got involved with film companies in the film industry and made sure that kids are being looked after. In the 70s and 80s, it was just like they had a tutor for a couple hours, and then it was just like, whatever, they send them off and they're hanging out with a bunch of, people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and kids were really at risk. And hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, a lot of kids came forward from that time. Child stars. I think Nicole Eggert, she was on Baywatch, and then Charles in Charge, she came forward with all this stuff that happened to her when she was a child star.
Yep. So this is him now.
Yeah, I found him to be surprisingly like a normal guy. Like,
yes.
He was pretty down to earth for being so famous and so well known for being a child star. He seemed like a relatively normal guy.
Well, he said he wanted to leave the industry. He said after Home Alone, like, he made enough from the Home Alone movies to last the rest of his life. His parents put it away, and he wanted to, he did a couple of movies after that. But he said once he got, to the old enough age, he wanted no part of it.
Yeah. And I thought he was a really good actor too as a kid.
He was.
He was good. There was the one movie where he got stung by bees and dies.
My Girl.
Oh my God!
I love that movie.
Where's his glasses? He can't see without his glasses.
I know. Oh God, he's so good in that movie. Yeah,
he was so good.
He also played in that movie with Elijah Wood when he was a kid. The Good Son.
The Good Son. Yes.
That was another one.
I like that one as well.
Yeah, against cast, against type. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, exactly, Jamie. It comes to the whole Harvey Weinstein. No one wants to believe it. The same thing with what's his name? My first brain fart of the night. Harvey Weinstein, and then
Bill Cosby.
No,
Michael Jackson.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein, yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, is he really Molson Man? I didn't know he was about to be on the new American Horror Story.
Oh, that's right up his alley. He's so eccentric. He would probably with the child,
Larry. Sorry.
Yeah,
with the child stars. No, it's fine. I'm sorry. I'm butting in here.
No, it's just a little bit of a delay, but you're fine. Butt in.
Yeah.
So with the child stars, there was actually a whistleblower who come forward recently. This was like maybe a month ago. And she spoke about children being cast on Nickelodeon for TV shows. And Dan Schneider, like he's this big writer. And like, and you can look him up, and he's under scandal right now. And there's another one called, his name is I want to say Peck, Brian Peck.
Yep.
He was actually tried and convicted of like I think he molested a young boy that's around our age a few years back, and he is basically he's convicted, and he's a, you know, what do you call it again, where they're on the pedophile list?
Yeah,
I'm drawing a blank here. Y'all work with
sex
me.
offender.
He's a registered sex offender.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
And it's come to find out Brian Peck and the other guy, I forgot his name. What is wrong with me tonight? Brian Peck and Dan Schneider.
Schneider, yeah.
Their way of casting kids are having this big pool party.
Yep.
And they
No
invite
parents
the parents
allowed.
Right, yes. And the parents have to go to like a seminar to, I guess they're taught on how to be a good parent to their actors' children. And all it is a distraction to keep the kids away from the parents. And then they say that almost every kid that gets a role on Nickelodeon, they win their role or they're picked in the pool. And it's just disgusting. Like, it's making me gross.
Imagine saying that we're having a big pool party for all these underage kids, but parents aren't allowed to come. And it's also said that Dan Schneider had a real weird obsession with feet. So if you go back into all these shows like iCarly or whatever it is, you will always see these kids rubbing, like he would make these kids like rub peanut butter on feet, and it looks all silly in the moment, but no, he had a weird fetish with feet.
That is twisted.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Epstein provided for all of the elites. He made his entire fortune and power by obtaining info and blackmailing the elite. He had enough to take down all of DC and Hollywood. Absolutely, I agree. I think we could all agree on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah, Larry, it was all about not only who he knew, but what he knew about them and what he could leverage on them. And so. Yeah.
If he's going down, I'm taking all you guys down with me. That's what they couldn't have.
Yeah.
Just one more thing about the Brian Peck guy. So he was convicted. He's not supposed to be around children anymore at all. He gets out of jail, and they cast him at Disney. And he is currently working at Disney along with children on kids' shows. And I don't know how that's possible, because if somebody like you or me, God forbid, were to have to register as a sex offender, you can't even be within a certain feet of a school or a church. But somehow this guy gets to work on the scenes with kids all day.
Yeah, again, that's the money and power of things like the entertainment industry or politics or those kind of things, right? When you have that much money and power over people, you can pretty much get away with anything you want and live in a different kind of justice system, which is awful.
Absolutely. You've heard about that. Like, that's just scary, you know, like the fact that you see, like, you think that someone as big as Disney or Nickelodeon would have their crap together. Your child would be safe. But no, like, why would you ever rehire him? You're telling me that you can't find someone else with enough experience? Like, come on. Yeah, I've heard about it through Corey Feldman, Miss Chronic Chronicles. You know, basically he would say that there would be these huge parties with like the directors and stuff, and they were designed just to, I don't want to say the words, like, you know, to exploit these underage children and do,
or to groom them, really.
To groom them.
Yeah, there was a grooming thing, and sometimes I think, especially we look back now, you know, we're often protective of our daughters, right? But not sometimes so much of our sons, especially if they're, you know, young teenagers or just before that. We kind of think that they'll be okay, and I think that's why so many of the boys got put into so much danger.
Right.
But no, yeah, it happened to plenty of kids, and it's just so gross. Oh,
Actually, if you look into the occult and you learn about the teachings that they follow, this is really disturbing, but you can look this up. A 5-year-old little boy is the prime target for sacrifice and
Yes, it is.
pedophilia.
Yes, Miss CZ Lee, that guy did have a shoe he had a foot fetish. Oh, that's awful, Miss Chronicles.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone watched Nickelodeon growing up, like I know I did, I think their main logo is a foot, right? The whole, you don't remember the foot?
Wait, let me look.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon foot logo? Nick, Nickelodeon.
well, yeah, you're absolutely
like
right.
a big
Oh my God,
foot plastered on the building.
Wait,
that's their
what?
logo.
Oh my God! Whoa, how
Yeah.
did I not? Oh my goodness! Whoa, how did I not realize that?
Dan Schneider had some power there. Like he wasn't, people just say that he was this guy who was a producer of certain shows. They said this man had like the biggest office. He got this full say in who goes and who stays. And,
Wait, didn't I remember? I thought it was an orange splosh. How did I not remember it was a foot?
Well, it's been both.
Do you remember? You can't do that on television. I can't remember anything of those young actors nowadays. I don't remember that. What is that?
Okay, so You Can't Do That on Television was a Canadian TV show, and it was a Canadian TV show by kids for kids. So it was a bunch of teenagers, really sort of corny knock-knock jokes, and they kind of skits and stuff like that. You can still see it on YouTube. It was I really loved it, really fun. If you said, I don't know, you got slimed. And if you said something else, you got water dumped on you. That's where the whole origination of the getting slimed thing happened.
Oh, getting slimed, yeah.
Yeah, it was started
from
You Can't Do That. Yeah, like all good things, you stole it from Canada. Like hockey.
So it's that was kind of like, what's the name of our show that was like that with Hillary, like, what was the name of that Nick at Night show? All that, it says all that.
I remember that. You remember that.
That's all that.
All that, it's just all that. Yeah, because then you would get slimed. Remember Legends of the Hidden Temple? Does anyone remember Legends of the
That was my jam, girl.
That was my jam. The blue team.
Actually, you just reminded me of Amanda Bynes. You know, they messed her up really bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and another super talented young actor as well. Her early work is fantastic, and she was so funny. And She's That Girl. Yeah, it's a shame.
Oh, you're right, Miss Cryo. What's the splash? In general, that is gross, sliming head. Never even thought into that, but the head slime thing is more fetish based. You're probably right. See, it's things, even the same thing. If you go back now and watch Disney movies, even Disney shows, you will pick up on things as an adult that you're like, what? Like, I can't believe that was said, but it's not something you would realize as a kid. But see, they condition you at such a young age to be like, to normalize this stuff.
Yeah, you remember I told you that was actually what woke me up.
Yes,
I hate saying that, but we have to find something new to say because I don't like that. Like woke.
You're so woke.
Yeah, right. The innuendos in movies and stuff. It's
but
like
it's true.
The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the one that come out when we were kids, the live action with Jim Carrey.
Yep.
So I was watching that with my kids and that movie 100 times, and I just realized in the beginning where the Grinch is a baby and he's dropped off at the doorstep, it shows his parents in the house having a party, and they're throwing keys in a fish bowl. they're having a freaking key party on that movie. And I did it. I swear I've seen that movie 100 times and I never realized it.
Yeah.
But that's a kid's movie.
There's also a scene in Looney Tunes, I think it was like in Tom and Jerry, where they go to heaven and they're up in the pearly gates of heaven and they're letting people in, and then there's a beggar and he gets in, and then there's a priest and he gets in, and then another guy gets in, and then there's all these people going to heaven, and then all of a sudden this bag is sort of moving around, this soaking wet bag, and these kittens run out and they jump out of the bag, right? And I'm like, oh, they get to go to heaven. And I realized, no, those kittens got put in a bag and drowned. That's why those kittens were going to heaven, right? They were soaking wet in a tied up bag.
Oh my God.
I'm like, that's cartoon.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say welcome to Caitlin. I'm so happy to have you here. It's so nice to see a new name, and I'm happy that you enjoy the topics. And Mike, thank you so much. That is such a huge, amazing compliment. I can't express to you how much that means to me. But I wouldn't have been able to do it without my two lovely bees on my channel with me, Brittany and Bryn. So thank you to them. Big thanks to them.
Hey, my husband just said that that's witchcraft. They put kittens in bags and drown them. That's a ritual in witchcraft.
Is it?
Yeah, he said, was that what you were talking about, or are you just saying that that was cruel to show on a kid's show?
It was in a cartoon. Yeah, it was in a cartoon, one of those old classic cartoons from like the 70s. Yeah. And also looking back into some of those cartoons.
That's witchcraft.
Wow. Yeah, he said that's witchcraft.
See, Nee says they remember it. The same thing with The Little Mermaid. Before they redid it, on the cover of the DVD on Ariel's castle, there was a big dick, like one of like the big spears things on the, how the tower has the spikes. It was the shape of a dick. And then in The Lion King, it would be the fireflies at night spelled out the word sex. And it's like, yo, what is going on? There's many things like that.
Sex.
I'm gonna go finish cutting
my husband walked in on our conversation and is like, I'm sorry, I'm going to finish cutting my hair.
I love it.
So sex was written out in The Lion King many times.
Many times.
And in the movie Aladdin, there's a scene where they're flying in the carpet, and one of the roofs is the same shape, has that exact same phallic shape as they go by. Yeah.
And did you know? In The Lion King, did you know Scar eats Mufasa?
What?
Okay. So after, there's a TikTok that came out and it blew my mind. So after Scar and Mufasa have this big fight, Mufasa gets like thrown off the cliff and dead, right? The next scene, you don't ever see Mufasa's body. The next scene goes to Scar, who's picking his teeth with a bone. And if you look up what a lion's skull would look like, a lion's bones, he literally, I swear, type it into YouTube, he's picking his teeth with Mufasa.
Oh my God. I remember that scene.
Yeah. He gets like trampled, right? And I guess he goes down afterwards.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, Buttercup said, I was watching Shrek today. I love Shrek. And in the morning, we're making waffles. And one of the lines was Snow White lives with 7 men, but she's not that easy.
Hey, do you know Shrek's tentacles are a virus? He's a virus, like for the coronavirus.
What?
Yeah.
It's a similar shape, to how they draw the virus. With the
There's a lot of predictive programming with the coronavirus as well.
Yep.
A lot.
Molson, man, Alice in Wonderland is just all drugs to begin with. It's one of, like, I really love Alice in Wonderland. Yep. Probably as an adult, just because I understand the symbolism so much, but I always just love the whole concept of Alice in Wonderland. But that doesn't surprise me at all, because Alice in Wonderland is just an adult movie. Oh, and yes,
actually,
Zazu was in the cage singing. Yep.
Actually, Alice in Wonderland and my all-time favorite movie, The Wizard of Oz, both of those movies are about MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Bryn's face when you said that. Good night, Jamie. Thank you for coming.
Bryn, there's actually an article. You can look it up. You can just type in Google MK Ultra and the Wizard of Oz, and you're going to be there for a while. But it's an incredible article, and it'll break it down piece by piece, everything, and it'll blow your mind. I'd actually suggest anybody to look at that article.
And there's some spooky stuff going on in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, there's some spooky stuff, man. Even look at, what's it called? Shit, here comes my next brain fart. Okay, so like if you look up like bizarre theories, like you guys know the Rugrats? Okay,
I love the Rugrats.
I love the Rugrats too. Well, there's a theory that the entire concept of the Rugrats is a lie, that Stu, because you know Stu is always in the basement making toys, right? Making toys. Well, that's because him and Dee Dee actually had a miscarriage. Tommy was never born. And Stu could never actually get over the fact that he lost his son. So he's constantly in the basement making these toys for a child he never had.
Wow. I could see that because he has this persona that's kind of mad, like he's going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely could see that. And Angelica's spoiled.
And they said another theory is, well, Angelica actually has like multiple personality disorder where she thinks she can have these conversation with the kids, but no one else can understand the kids besides Angelica's, because Angelica could also talk to the adults. And their really crazy theory is that, you know, some are ridiculous, but some are like, that's interesting.
It did come from Nickelodeon, so I mean.
Oh, thank you, True Crime Analyst. Thank you for being here so much. Have a great night. Oh, yeah, Ren and Stimpy. Who knows Ren and Stimpy? That was a weird one. I loved it.
You idiot.
Stimpy, you idiot.
That was a weird one, too. But not as weird as my kids started watching Adventure Time. And whoever's making that show is on some serious drugs. And I watched some of those because that show is effed.
I never watched it, but I heard about it from how weird it is.
Yeah,
Adventure Time freaks me out.
It does kind of. You can pick up Adventure Time in any episode and just watch it, and you'll be like, it's really It's like going on an LSD trip and then being able to leave. So.
Hi, Lynn.
Well, have y'all noticed, like, I don't know if either of you look at any of the video games, but all of the newest video games that are like for kids that my kids like are all dark now.
Every single one of them. It's brutal.
Like
even
binging.
My daughter plays Roblox, and she just turned 8 2 weeks ago. And one of because they're games within the one game, and one of it is Tower of Hell. Maybe I'm just an over obsessive mom, but my daughter doesn't she thinks stupid is the S word, that's how limited I try to keep things. But now she thinks hell between her religion classes, that is hell is a place, but in a kid's game, I don't like that, like Tower of Hell.
No, my kids come to me and they wanted this game called Hello Neighbor. Hello neighbor, you're a little boy. Yes.
I don't like it already.
Okay, it's basically this guy with a pedo mustache, and he kidnaps little children and locks them in his house.
Stop it!
What?
I'm not kidding, and you're the little kid.
You are not telling the truth right now.
Shut that hole in your face!
No.
And this is a kid's game.
There's
Bright
no
colors.
kids game like that.
Hello neighbor. Yes, look it up. I kid you not. Hello neighbor. And the guy so you get in the guy's house, right? And he's got cages in his basement. He's got the little baby bed. Melissa, you can pull the images up of this game.
Okay,
my kids.
What is it called?
Hello Neighbor. It's really, really popular.
Wow. Yeah, my kids are.
There he is,
old
the pedophile.
Oh my God, my kids are too old for me to be able to control what games they play.
I know, that's what stinks. Is that
they
first
have
of all, What is going on here?
Yeah, and the thing of it is, if you let your kids watch YouTube targets your children.
Yes, it does.
Gameplays.
Yes, it does.
And my kids see these things.
They advertise it to where you want to play it. You want to play it. You want to see. You want to be cool. You want to do this. What is going on here? Is he going underneath someone's bed?
Yes, he takes the little kids, and you're the little kid.
No, this is sick.
And the objective is to rescue one of your friends from him.
What is?
God.
Oh, I don't even know how to respond.
Melissa, there's one where it shows his cheeks, and I don't know if it's always like that. But his cheeks have a pedophile symbol on them.
Oh my God! What?
Yeah, you know the pedophile symbol, the spiral.
Yeah,
No,
I've seen a couple pictures of him with the spiral on his cheeks.
What is the symbol? I wasn't aware there was a symbol.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. So there's a code from the FBI, Bryn, and it's I'll have to get Melissa to show it to you. It's a couple.
This is concerning.
Yeah, that's concerning on a whole other level. Like when my kids were younger, they wanted Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever, and we banned that just because of like watching some of the gameplay. Like it's just disgusting, right? Like you can actually beat up hookers and have them perform sex acts on you, and I'm like, no, not for my 12-year-old boy. No, you cannot, right? And then it's sad because all his friends were playing, and they'd all hook up online, and he was sad because he couldn't play it, but I'm not letting him play that. I just couldn't believe how many of his friends' parents let their kids play that kind of content at such a young age.
Oh my goodness, I'm just in shock. But like, the problem is that parents allow this, you know?
Yeah. Your son is 10 and has played this game, this Hello Neighbors game, Miss T. Lee.
Brittany
Oh my God.
Brittany popped out. Really, Miss Teasy Lee, it is really concerning him.
Oh.
Look into the series on Netflix. This shit freaked me out so deep and so intense. The Midnight Gospel. Okay, let me write it down.
Midnight Gospel. Sorry, Netflix?
Yes. Me and Bryn are about to go on a binge watch. Midnight Gospel. So I got Primer and I got Midnight Gospel.
Anyone who hasn't seen Interstellar.
And yes, anyone who hasn't seen Interstellar, better drop that again. My child is not allowed to be online until they're old enough to vote. I wish it was that easy.
Yeah, no, it's super hard, especially now because the web is connected to everything.
Everything.
Yeah. So
I started off with, YouTube on kids' YouTube because my daughter loves watching, I don't know, it's basically watching other kids play with their toys. Like it's not even shows anymore. My daughter loves watching other kids playing with their LOLs or their Barbies. And then it turned into Roblox. My daughter is very obsessed with Roblox now. Look up the game Granny. Okay.
Oh, Granny's another one. And Bryn, just to answer your question, my kid is 7, and no, I don't let him play this. This is what they wanted.
Right.
And I researched it.
What the heck?
That's what I'm telling you. It's dark. This is another one. This is another one that went big with the kids on YouTube.
It's my kids scare kids.
Oh my God.
And she beats you with a bat.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's exactly how we want to portray our grandmothers, isn't it?
Oh, sure.
Okay, and there's one other game that, my kids wanted.
Me out.
Yeah.
What is wrong with? What is wrong
That's what
with
I'm
us?
saying. You have to really watch what your kids are watching, because if your kids are like mine and they're into gameplays, this is the kind of gameplays that they're targeting your kids with.
Yeah,
Right,
my kids. My kids were watching Five Nights at Freddy's, which is
Yes,
like
I
a
remember
horror
that.
game.
I remember that.
But it wasn't super gory or graphic. It was just like jump scares, and I'd watch it with them, and it was super scary, but it wasn't
the
like just,
animatronics. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like you're walking around a demented Chuck E. Cheese, and it would be jump scares. But that was bad back in the day. Like this is
that's the next level.
Melissa, there's another one called Ice Cream Man, like ISM, and he's also a pedophile type dude.
What is it?
It's ISC, like scream, like I'm screaming at you. Ice Cream Man, like it's supposed to sound like ice cream, but it's ice cream. And this was popular too. Now this character chases after your kids.
Well, wait. First of all, wait. I gotta look at this. What is this?
This is therapy waiting to happen, is what this is.
What is this?
I don't know what that is. The character with the funny face.
Cherry on top of his head. Okay, this is the one you mean.
Yes, that's him.
Oh my God, this is awful.
So he makes the kids fat before he takes them. I don't know what that's about.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Molson Man, I do remember the Slender Man case where 3 best friends, 2 of them planned to murder their other best friend, lured her into the woods after having a slumber party because they thought that Slender Man would let them come live with them if they did. And they stabbed this girl repeatedly. She ended up surviving. And they're both in jail right now. But it's so terrifying because you would think those girls at least would be at the age that they were able to differentiate what's real and not real. But no, you can't claim that. And our childhood, it was easy we didn't have internet. There's a lot of pros, but there's also a lot of cons. And that's why I also recommend people to watch the show Black Mirror on Netflix, which is awesome. This shit is brainwashing, it is. And it really goes hand in hand with laziness. And I know I'm guilty of it too, because sometimes, like whether your kids are kicking and screaming, okay, just hand them the iPad, hand them the phone because they love that game. And you just want to be able to take a breath or cook dinner or do whatever. But it's the fact that we give in and allow them to have this type of access. That's the problem.
Yeah. And all of these games that we're looking at right now, I mean, we've reached a time where there's video games about pedophiles, and the objective is for you to get free from them. Like, come on.
Yeah. I like Mario Kart because you get to drive and you throw bananas, and that's good. But, yeah.
Yeah. That was like the worst thing we had to worry about. Like, Bowser as it got.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's
but
like these kind of things. Like I could see them really, like if a kid gets them too early, and I know that people put like age, recommendations, or whatever. But if a parent just looks, there's some kid game, lets their kid download it, you can really mess a kid up if it's too young and they get traumatized.
Yes, it really can.
Because those are powerful images, and those games are designed to be scary and immersive and like just mess with you like that. That's really disturbing to me.
Yeah, and I know I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry, but just another really disturbing. All of these games that we're looking at, they're targeted at small kids. Like these are the games that they're showing and promoting on all of the channels that, like FGTV, these big channels that have millions of followers that target kids 12 and under. Like it's gross, and they know what they're doing.
Exactly, Jennifer, because that's the problem. It's more of a punishment now to try to get your kids out of the house. Like it used to be like, come home by the time the street lights come on. And now it's like, shut the electronics off. Let's go outside. No, I don't want to. Like you are literally becoming, intertwined with this alternate reality.
Yeah.
Look up Scary Teacher. Oh gosh.
And Nays T, I agree. I didn't like so much Black Mirror the first season, but I thought the second season was outstanding. So
I was about to say that.
Yeah, try that. Maybe try the second season.
If you judge Black Mirror on the first episode, you'd want to go nowhere near. That first episode was weird, effing a pig in the butt. Okay, but what's great about Black Mirror is each. I was like, what is this? Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best description of that episode ever. Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. But each episode is its own universe. It's its own series. So, like, if you hated one, that doesn't mean if you want me to send you a list of the best to the worst, I will, because there are a few that are really amazing. Yeah,
they're like the Twilight Zone. If you ever watched the old Twilight Zones, those were so good as a kid. They're one-offs. Yeah.
They absolutely are. The first season, I mean, I really liked episode 2, A Million Merits. And episodes 3 is okay. But it was really when America ended up buying it and taking it over that it really started to get good. Nays, what's great is you could just hop around. You don't even have to start at the second season. You could start at season 3, episode 2, and jump around because they never follow an order. Even though you shouldn't, because there is one season where one of the episodes, they'll do little Easter eggs where they will, like, something from the first season will come into play. Like, they always, at one point in each season, they always will play this one song, or they will incorporate something small. So you should, but it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
Did you say... Go ahead, Bryn.
Oh, it's just oftentimes they'll pull a bunch of different episodes together in like their season finale or one of the other ones, and bring some of the stories together in the background. It's kind of interesting, but you don't have to watch it. You can also, they have lots of guest stars, so you can look for the people, like sometimes they have well-known actors and the people that you might like, and so that's kind of a fun way to get into it too, just seeing who's in those episodes.
Yep.
Is this on Netflix?
Yes.
Can you send me that list too, so I don't have to see the pig?
Yeah, and some of the episodes are disturbing, not like in a gross way, but just in a way that makes you think, and that makes you they're just kind of those horror ones that leave you with those awful feelings, those nightmarish feelings, those sort of being punished into eternity feelings. There's a couple that are sort of space related that are best for me.
Yeah. Look, I'm not a TV person at all. I don't watch TV at all. And so the last time I took someone's advice and I watched a Netflix show, it was the show called 13 Reasons Why.
That's it. That's like a younger show, but it's still good. Like.
Yeah, but then I seen they stuck a broomstick.
Oh, yes, they did.
And when I seen that, I was disturbed for like 3 or 4 days. I couldn't get over it.
What in the hell is this?
See, when I was growing up, I watched a movie called Deliverance, and there's a scene in that which is super graphic, and that's where the old "now now 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 now" comes from, and the sort of inbred people. It was pretty gross.
That's weird. You bring that up because I'm actually studying that case about the little girl that's gone missing recently in Tennessee. And they actually described the people that live on that mountain. They said they're people straight up out of the movie Deliverance, and I've never seen it.
Yeah, so the music Deliverance is in the Appalachian Mountains, and it's a group of very insular sort of they call them hillbillies in there, and people up there, and they do some disturbing things to the campers that are up there in the movie.
What is this though? The Scary Teacher. Look at this mini man with a pacifier as a baby.
Is that another game?
Yes.
I don't want to play that game.
Like, what is this, you guys? And this is a man. But this is a teacher. Like, come on.
That's definitely not a female, right? I mean,
but they're conditioning us, you see. What is wrong with this?
What?
This is so odd. What happened to Super Mario Brothers, dude?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I even think my kid was playing Among Us for a while. I thought that was
Yes,
kind
my
of a cool
daughter
game.
likes Among Us too.
Yeah, because it's actually
kids do too.
yeah, you kind of actually have to work as a team. You kind of have to do some like actual sort of game playing, little sort of role playing, and it was interesting. This just seems like it's just trying to offend people. Squeal like a pig scene. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Ginger. Yeah, Ginger Treasure.
Yeah, every single game that we've looked at is in the top ranks. Like they're the best sellers. And everything we looked at, not only is it awful for your kids, but look at the quality of these games. It's like made with the oldest computer or something. Like the quality of these games aren't even good.
Well, sometimes I think there's a bit of a throwback to the retro too. I think my oldest kid plays a lot of like 8-bit games, like old school, like super simple games and games on the phone. So I know when I was growing up, I always wanted the best graphics and the best the newest one. And now they have old emulators and they're like, oh, we wish you still had your Nintendo GameCube. That'd be so cool to play Zelda on the GameCube. I'm like, dude, you have a 10 times better gaming system here. And they're like, yeah, but that's old school. That'd be so cool, retro. When you actually, the controller with the cord. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
and
actually.
I do wish I kept my Nintendo GameCube. And just to throw back, because this is something interesting as well, the throw back to our John Titor, and that's a funny name.
John Titor.
Titor. That computer, the 5100.
Yes.
Super rare, super hard to find. If you have one of those, it's worth huge money. I don't know what that's worth, but it's interesting that the computer that he was going to use is actually a computer that's super highly desirable nowadays.
I mean, it's an interesting idea. I'm like, well, listen, if he's from the future, what would they need from that specific computer, but who knows in reality.
So I was thinking about it, and I think that basically Microsoft, when they invented like the Windows and all that kind of stuff, they invented those operating systems. They invented how computers were going to work and understand information. And so if there was going to be a Y2K problem, it would have had to have started at the very beginning of computing, right back when they're starting writing basic language and doing the most basic programming, that sort of Y2K error was already written into the code. So if he was able to go back and use that computer or get into that computer and change that programming, then perhaps that computer problem wouldn't happen many, years down the road, because that was the problem with Y2K, is that everyone said, all of our systems were so old back then, no one thought we were going to get up to 2000, so everything's only set for 1900, and don't know what's going to happen when all those things roll over. But those things were programmed by the kind of computer that he would have wanted. I just thought that was interesting.
That is really interesting. And how was he able to not only predict this stuff, like I said, these illustrations, these diagrams, no, they were not created by anybody else. They weren't like a manual or a diagram for a different machine that existed. Like, people have taken 12 years to try to figure this out, okay? But what they're able to say is the mechanisms, the diagrams, everything, that he drew makes sense. It would work. I mean, how cool would it be if all these UFOs are really us from the future just traveling to the past? Who's to say it's aliens?
Yeah, no, and in some ways that is the most logical way to think about it, because one of the problems with the alien theory is the fact that time is just so vast, and that we are here, even if humans are on Earth for, let's say, 5 million years we're here. That's still just a tiny, tiny blip in the galactic timeline.
Yes,
and so if civilizations are popping up all the time and being destructed all the time, the odds of an alien popping up at the same time as us and traveling to us, it seems really astronomical. It seems like there would have to be a lot of sort of the stars would align, if you pardon the pun. So it would make more sense that, if we actually developed enough technology to be able to travel back in time, that we would actually visit ourselves, because that's what we would do. And that's what it would look like to us. It would look like aliens. If we had that technology was so far beyond what we have now, it would look like it was aliens.
Yeah, I theorized that just from the research that I've done, and obviously I'm a Christian, I believe in the Bible, that there was DNA manipulation back in the day. Like, I believe we had ancient technology, but I also believe like these statues that we see, like the Lamassu, I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, but those big lion looking statues that are outside the Egyptian temples and stuff.
Yeah.
They're called the Lamassu, I think. I theorize that some of these statues were actually based on real life creatures, because it just, like, you hear about all of these deities and false gods from back in the day. Well, who's to say that all of that wasn't real? And we found a way to manipulate our DNA, and then when the I can't even say the words, so I ain't even going to go there. When the flood happened, or whatever you believe happened, when the earth shifted, who's to say that we didn't lose all that technology, and that's what they're hiding today?
Mm-hmm. Melissa, man, I have it on my list of things to cover. But yes, Miss Chronicles, Barron Trump's marvelous underground journey and the theories around time travel. Have you guys ever heard of the Barron Trump time travel theory?
Not Barron Trump, Trump's son. Is it Donald Trump's son?
Yes, Barron Trump.
What? He's a time traveler?
Yes, apparently. I don't know it off the top of my head. I don't remember it good enough to explain it. Brittany, do you know it?
Yes. So,
okay, say it.
So there were 2 books, and Melissa, you will probably be refreshed as I'm talking, so you can help me. There were 2 different books that come out, and one of them was about a guy named Barron Trump, who went to the city, and am I getting this right, Melissa?
Yes.
He went to the city, and he stayed. I don't even remember. I think something happened where somebody ran for president, and then there was this great big. What happened, Melissa? I remember some of it.
Crap, I'll look it up. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, let her look it up, because I'd rather be correct about it. It's worth it, I promise. There's 2 of them, though. There's 2 books. Another book, he goes to Russia.
Okay. Someone came across some books on the Office of Congress Library website. The books are Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey or The Last President. Both were written in the 1890s. The book themselves are real. Look them up for yourself. The plot of the first book about Barron Trump includes the story of a young boy who finds a secret portal and time travel. There are some incredible connections to be made to the first family of the United States and Lockwood's novels from the 19th century. For starters, the main character's name is the same as President Donald J. Trump's son. Trump's adventures begin in Russia and are guided thanks to directions provided by the master of all masters, a man named Don. Before leaving for his voyage through the unknown, Trump is told of his family's motto: the pathway to glory is strewn with pitfalls and danger. But wait, it gets even creepier. Lockwood wrote a sequel series of novels 4 years after the initial publication of his first book. In his third novel, The Last President, things link eerily to present day. The story begins with a scene from a panicked New York City in early November. It describes a state of uproar after an election in which an enormously opposed outsider is granted power. An outsider candidate. Sound familiar? After the chaotic scene in New York City, we find out that the man who won the presidency is extremely wealthy and resides on Fifth Avenue. In case you did not know, the Trump Tower resides on Fifth Avenue. As crazy as that sounds, once Lockwood's character becomes president, he became choosing people for his cabinet. One of the first people he picked was a man named Lafay Pence. I cannot stress you this enough. Illuminati. If you are interested in this theory, then I suggest looking it up. There's much more information on this topic to uncover. Yeah, so there's like a bunch of theories like that. If you look in, like I'm not going to sit there and read all of them, but
that's crazy. The Barron Trump thing, that's crazy. Wow.
Look at Bryn.
Yeah, that's a lot of quizzes. The Dawn. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it like 100 years ago when both of them were written?
Yes, 1890, over 100 years ago.
See, I knew one was about the city and one was about Russia, but yeah. Explain that. Bryn's like, I gotta have a drink. I gotta have a drink.
I hope that's spiked. Yes, I'll definitely be covering the Travis Walton case, Molson Man. If you'd like, we could do that next. Are you familiar, Bryn? Fire in the Sky, Travis Walton?
Yes. Oh my God, that movie was incredibly graphic and had a big impact on me in terms of my belief in aliens, and one of the most credible stories too, as well.
Oh wait, and the dog is named after his wife.
My parents watched that movie when I was a kid, and they would always make us go to bed first before they'd watch, an adult movie. And I got up out of bed and I peeked around the corner and watched part of that movie, Fire in the Sky. And when I tell you, I kid you, Melissa, you got to watch it.
I know all about Travis Walton. I never watched the movie.
See, it's the opposite with me. I know about the movie, but I don't know about Travis Walton.
What part did you see, Brittany?
I seen the part when they went up and they were trapped inside of that goo or whatever it was.
Yeah.
With all the people, terrifying. The worst part that I could have seen. But let me just say, like, I remember the man's face pressed up against whatever it was that they were encased in. And he was like screaming. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was not right for like 2 weeks. I slept with my parents because I think I was literally like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, I saw it at like 24 years old, and I wasn't right for a couple of weeks. When they put the skin on them, it reminds me of like when dentists put stuff around your tooth before they do the cavity drilling. This is like the plastic latex, and then they sort of slice different slices open. And when they put this stuff in his eyes, oh my God, that like just it was so graphic the way that the filmmakers actually like used practical props and were like, manhandling this guy. That was really,
he was tortured. It freaked me out.
And the film did a really good job with that, like in terms of making it seem real and really giving the idea of how traumatic that would be and what it would be like to actually, be in that situation.
Well, it looks like I got to do some homework on Travis Walton.
Hello, Elfin Princess. I really like your name. I know a lot about it, but I've never watched Fire in the Sky. But here is as much as you want to go into like time travelers, here is a photo taken of what looks like a present guy living in our timeline in the middle of a bunch of people. I don't know when this photo was taken, back in the I don't know. Obviously, you could tell he stands out, and he's holding a camera that didn't exist back then.
Yeah, it was in the 40s, and it was the opening of a bridge. And there's a picture of this guy, and he's out of like the idea of wearing a cardigan would have been like a teenager thing, and no man would wear a cardigan at that time. And T-shirts were worn, basically as underwear, and that people, as you can tell, people wore hats and not sunglasses. And so the idea that he's wearing all of that stuff, he definitely seems out of place, and he's definitely holding something that looks like a small camera.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a cardigan to me. That kind of looks like a sweat jacket or like a jockey jacket or something.
Maybe.
Just like a typical little thin pullover
Yeah,
jacket.
when I looked at the blow up, it looks like a knitted sort of cardigan, but he definitely, like, when you look at the other people around him, he looks incredibly out of place.
He stands out, yes.
Yeah.
Fire in the sky, Jennifer. By the way, Jennifer, you are such an amazing mod. I'm sorry, I just have to give Jennifer a shout out because she's a mod for so many channels, and she is always there from beginning to end. She's always the one dropping the channel link. She's always the one asking to hit some thumbs up and communicating with other people in the chat. So I just wanted to give Jennifer a special shout out. So thank you so much for all that you do.
And Miss Chronicles, absolutely, please read 1984. It's absolutely brilliant. I read it when I was in high school. I read it when I was in college, or when I was in my 20s and in my 30s, and I've read it again in my 40s. It's like, no matter when I read it, I get something new out of it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, at this point, it's pivotal that everybody read that book if they haven't at the times that we're in. But something I noticed with that picture that you got, if people from different times have different. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, my husband's blasting music. People from different time periods have different facial features. And
they do.
I mean, I can't, right?
And
so if you look at this guy, he doesn't have the same type of facial features as everyone around him.
He just stands out, man.
Yeah, he's also taller, and as we know, as people have got, as we've moved on, people have gotten taller as well. So the average height has definitely gone up.
There's a couple of hold on. Oh my God, have you guys ever gone through celebrities where you swear photos are of them when they're, sorry, I got so excited, I couldn't even say it. There'll be like a photo from the 1800s and then like a Nicolas Cage then and a Nicolas Cage now. First of all, okay, so look at Greta Thunberg, who that girl.
Oh my God, it's her.
Yeah, that is totally Greta Thunberg.
But Thunberg always
wow.
The features of someone from back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never seen her.
Yeah, okay. Her celebrity.
That's Jesus.
Oh, there's a couple that's bad. Like, it's like eerie. Okay, look at Jack Black and Paul Revere.
That's pretty funny.
No, that's just a funny one. Okay, but hold on. Johnny Depp, Ross from Friends. Look at what's his name? Eddie Murphy. Look at Eddie Murphy.
Oh wow.
Jennifer Lawrence. Look at Ross.
That's
Melissa. I actually researched that. I researched that one with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
The lady next to her.
Yes.
She was like this famous Egyptian actress. And there are other pictures of her that they look the same as well. So that's not just the only one.
Oh, really, Molson Man? Okay, so, there's more, guys. There's one, that Nicolas Cage one really freaks me out. Okay, look, tell me this isn't Eddie Murphy, John Travolta, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Tell me this is not the three of them.
100%. Wow.
Right? You guys, these celebrities are into some crazy shit. I'm telling you.
They're vampires.
I'm telling you, they're cloned.
That is
I've been saying celebrities are
Eddie
clones.
Murphy, John Travolta, Leonardo. Would you not automatically think, if I didn't tell you this wasn't a time traveler video, would you not just automatically think that that's who this was?
The crazy thing is, the one that's supposed to be Leonardo DiCaprio is a female.
Yes.
Is that really?
Keanu Reeves. Back when they didn't have photos, but they had to draw you. Okay, hold on. This is Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, it totally is.
Eerily. Hold on. This is a woman, though. Judy Zipper.
Oh wow, poor Judy.
Poor Judy. I don't know why I find that so funny. Judy. Judy. Okay, hold on. Alec Baldwin. Look at this.
Oh wow, that's so interesting.
I don't know why I get such a kick out of it, you guys. I don't know. Some are funny, some are really eerily. Okay, look at this. Nicolas fucking Cage. Tell me this is not Nicolas fucking Cage.
Yeah,
come on, you guys.
That is 100%.
I have to look at the chat. Okay, spot on, not my cue. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one, you guys. Oh my God, it makes my eyes tear. I'm dying right now. He lost weight. Oh, I love Keanu Reeves. He is one that, like a fine wine, just ages with beauty, man. I mean, yeah, is that ages with beauty with ages? I don't remember. Whatever. Oh my God, this stuff, it just bugs me out.
There was an app that you could, I forget what it was. No, here it is. It was a Google thing where you could put your picture in and then it would find an old painting that looked like you.
Oh, really?
So that's supposed to be me and then this old painting.
Hold on.
It's supposed to look like me, but it doesn't necessarily look totally like me.
Oh, wow. No, in the
that
facial
one's creepy.
features.
Yeah. So you put your face and then it finds like your likeness in old pictures. Because I thought those were super cool. Sure.
Look at Justin Timberlake.
Wow, Bryn.
I can actually really see that.
That's pretty cool.
If you wore one of those white hats, white hair,
wigs.
Yeah, they want to know what's the name of the app.
It was hold on. It was through the Google Arts and Culture Center. That's what it was. It was a Google thing, not an app. Sorry.
Yeah, Miss Teasy Lee, I'm on Google. I just wrote celebrity doppelgangers or time travel. Wow, Shelly, love your back. And
Melissa.
JT bringing sexy back. Tell me that's not Justin Timberlake.
That is, yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
But yes, Brittany, what were you gonna ask?
What would be the best place to research that?
Is Jimmy Fallon?
Oh my God, that's identical.
That's gonna be his father or something.
You guys,
Right?
This is crazy.
I'm telling you, every day that passes, I believe more and more that these celebrities are cloned, or they've found some kind of immunity
it's like
eternity serum.
Time travel already exists, and they went back and took pictures in the past just to fuck with us. Jimmy!
Seriously. Because
Yes,
look,
Shelly Love. These are real photos.
Yes, they are. If you found one or two that were like celebrities, I would be like, okay, but how many can you go through before?
My God.
Like,
he looks
what are
like
the
he
odds?
owns a pizzeria. Oh my God. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm being so loud and obnoxious and screeching, but I just can't. Oh God.
No, what are the odds that you could find that many that have doppelgangers?
Ross. Yo, that looks just like Ross.
It does.
Look at that stash. Oh God. Oh. You guys, I swear I'd be laughing just as hard. Oh, this one's scary. Ready? Look at this. Look at this one. Okay, hold on. Look.
Jay-Z.
Oh
Look at
my
Jay-Z.
God. That is him all day long. Wow. And you can clearly see that's like 100 years ago.
Good night, Molson. Thank you for always being here and
Molson,
supporting.
man.
Love having you in the chat.
Yeah, thanks,
Bye,
dude.
Molson. Thank
And
you
happy
so
Father's
much.
Day. Happy Father's Day. Ross has a lot of friends. Oh my God. Look at Peter Dinklage. Game of
No
Thrones,
way.
anyone?
Wow.
I love him.
Shit, what did I do? Peter Dinklage.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
That's incredible.
Oh my God, Ginger, imagine he had a monkey like Maurice on his shoulder. That would be great.
Marcel.
Yes, Marcel.
Melissa, I think there's two with Dinklage. Like, there's another one that he looks just like.
Look at this!
Wow.
Bruce
Yeah.
effing Willis!
Hey, that could pass for Bush Senior too.
A little bit. Got that smoldering eye a little bit.
Yeah, he does, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that some kind of crazy pipe in his mouth? Or is that just the picture?
No, that's a crazy pipe. Look at.
What the hell is Bruce Willis smoking?
Melissa, I swear you remind me of myself.
I'm sorry, I'm just cracking the hell up. I would be cracking up by myself, I swear.
I had the same reaction.
Crazy. Look at this artistic
No. Look at Johnny Depp. No.
I love me some Johnny though. Oh my God.
Do you now? Oh Lord.
Look at this.
Oh,
What do you mean that is?
that's
woman.
identical.
Yeah, that's a
Freaking woman.
Is that like a young girl or is that like
Yes.
just okay?
Yes, that's a young woman.
Wow. And
oh my God.
and she's standing next to some old picture of an old person.
Oh, yes, it's freaking Harry Potter.
Oh man,
You're a wizard, Harry.
that's
oh my
crazy.
God. Oh, maybe I'm just getting too much joy out of this, but I swear, like, something is up, man, you guys.
Yeah, I've never seen these before. That's super fun. Orlando Bloom.
Yes.
Not super close. That's not the best one I've seen, but it's not bad.
Not the best one, but when you put them all together, like, look at this. Jennifer Lawrence, that really looks like Jennifer
But
Lawrence.
the Nicolas Cage one, yeah,
Yes.
like because
Yes.
Nicolas Cage has such an interesting, like, unique look.
Yes, he does.
Is that other picture from Breakfast at Tiffany's?
No, that is in,
No.
this
Oh,
is
that's-
an, go ahead, Brittany. Who is this?
Her name is Zubaida. I don't remember her last name, but she's an
Oh.
Egyptian actress.
Okay, and she was obviously like in the 50s or something, right?
Yes, she
Okay.
was.
Not the best one.
I can't get
I don't know
over.
what. Oh my God.
Oh my God! Go back. Oh my God! No.
Oh my God, that's the
Come on.
funniest thing I've ever seen. No shit. Take the beard off, okay? It's not that far off.
That. Oh my God! That's Ellen. That's Ellen with a beard.
That is Ellen. Oh, thank you, Dizzy Lizzie. I'm happy I'm not crazy and I'm not the only one entertained by this shit. Oh my God. That is funny. Oh my God, let me see. Oh my God, stop.
No. Melissa, I'm gonna wake my kids up.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I have a headache from how that is funny. That is
Oh, it
funny.
hurts. It hurts. Oh God.
It's a fucking statue. Oh my God, stop it. Oh man, I keep clicking on links. Oh my God, I can't. I'm crying.
That's actually supposed to be an ancient Egyptian statue, as creepy as that is.
What did I do?
So when I found these, I researched. I said I need to see.
Oh my God.
Not Steve Martin.
That's the best one. That's the best one.
That's priceless.
Oh my God, I can't. That is Steve Martin in a freaking gird up, whatever they're called. Oh my God. You guys, I'm crying. Oh my God.
Is that the female?
That is a female.
Jesus. You know, there's a conspiracy theory that there's a lot of male to female
Yes.
and vice versa.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Steve Martin. Oh my God.
Poor Steve Martin.
Oh my God. Oh shit. Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Whoa. That's close.
It's like they're fucking with us, you know?
Yeah.
Steve Martin. Queen Latifah. Look at that.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that looks like
Wow.
her in makeup in a black and white photo. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
It's seriously as if they're going back in time, all these elite celebrities, and they're taking pictures so we could all sit here to this day like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, let's compare. Look, same nose, same eyes, same cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's remarkable.
that Greta picture really threw me back.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a good one too.
That was identical.
Elon Musk.
Look at Jack Black again. Jeez.
I love Jack Black.
I do too.
Oh my god. Oh, this really just cracked me up. Oh, look at Slim Shady.
Oh wow. That's
Whoa,
pretty
that is
good.
remarkable.
You guys. Oh, Buttercup, I'm
Something-
sorry.
Something is not right. You're, jeez.
No, but this really is crazy. Like, look at that.
Yeah, that's another really good one.
That's
Gen
a
Z one.
really good one.
Yeah.
I wish the picture wasn't so grainy.
Yeah.
Like, all jokes aside, some of these are identical.
Yeah. It's freaky. Ah, you Grant.
Well, yeah, and that's the playwright. What's his name? Oscar Wilde. He
Yes.
does look a lot like Oscar Wilde. Yeah.
Oh, Melissa, another one. Have you looked at the celebrities that look alike?
Yes.
Some of them, it'd be like 3 people that look exactly the same.
Well, my dad actually have always had these theories. The Steve Martin one was so funny. Yes, my dad actually has told me for a while now that they will make multiples, as crazy as it sounds, they will make multiples of the same actors. And it's the same thing with the Justin Bieber and Post Malone. If you speed up Post Malone's and put his music to a different pitch, it sounds just like Justin Bieber. If you take Justin Bieber and slow it down to a lower pitch, it sounds just like Post Malone. Thank you, Jennifer. And so the same thing with these celebrities. My dad's like, they make multiples, you know? And it sounds crazy, but it's really kind of not. Okay, so this is Shakira. This is not Shakira. What's her name? Bryn. What is her name? She's actually from a Black Mirror episode, one of my favorite episodes. I don't remember what their names are, but these. Oh, okay, right here: Jessica Chastain and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Your dad's actually really wise.
Yeah,
I
he
never thought
is and
about
he
that.
isn't. Mila Kunis, I don't know who the other one is. Amy Adams and Isla Fisher.
Wow.
Rihanna and Rihanna? Wait, I don't know which one is Rihanna. Wait, this one's Rihanna. I don't know who that is.
Wow.
Adele and Adele, but that's not Adele. Don't know either of their names. Oh, she's the daughter from Mad Men. But wait, she looks like the daughter from Mad.
Yeah, which
Oh,
is
shit. Wait.
crazy.
Oh, my goodness. These two, I don't know their names, but I know they always got, you can't tell them apart. Don't know their names. So, okay, Selena and Sophia. Rihanna. Dude, wait.
That's a good one. Yeah. Ed Sheeran and yeah.
Ed Sheeran and Ed Sheeran. But it's not. This one's not Ed Sheeran.
It's the guy from Harry Potter, the guy that played Ron in Harry Potter.
Oh,
They
is it
look just
really?
like- yeah, they look just like each other. And he even did one of Ed Sheeran's videos as Ed Sheeran, but it was the actor that played Ron.
Rupert Grint?
Yeah.
I'm a Harry Potter junkie. I'm sorry. There was something. Never mind. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry.
Remember when Ed Sheeran played in Game of Thrones? Okay, so what's her name? Katy Perry and Zooey Deschanel always get mixed up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we kind of saw all these before. Oh yeah, the guy from Scrubs and what's his name? I forgot his name.
Dax Shepard.
Dax Shepard, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love him.
I like
Yeah.
Dax Shepard.
Because there's so many of these, this is why I really believe that cloning is a thing.
Well, that really looks
Because-
like Angelina Jolie.
That totally does. It's not. It's not.
It's not.
Wow.
Emma Stone and I don't know who.
Emma Watson.
Oh yeah, Emma Watson, not Emma Stone. Sorry.
Now this
Rob
guy,
Lowe.
Mm-hmm.
is that Rob Lowe?
Yeah,
Yes,
on
it
the
is.
left it's Rob Lowe. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know who the guy on the right is.
Cloning is definitely a thing, you guys.
Of course,
There's one.
they were cloning sheep back in the 90s.
There's a guy that played in that show Supernatural. He was the dad. I forget his name, but the dad who played in Supernatural, him and two other guys are identical. I forget their names.
Elijah Wood and Misha Barton.
They do look alike.
They do really look alike. Oh my gosh. I don't even know half these people.
Crazy.
Ooh, that girl looks a little off.
Wow.
Yeah,
This is crazy.
yeah.
No, they're not Photoshop, Mike.
That is crazy.
There's actually, if anyone wants to find it, because my entire life, I've never been told I look like someone ever. Okay. But what I get all the time is you look really familiar. So there's actually a group on Facebook that if you feel comfortable and you want to upload a couple of photos of yourself, people will either write a comment of who they think you look like in celebrity world, or if they know someone in real life who you look like, they'll show a picture of that person. Oh, so here's another old time one, time traveler. This is James Franco's younger brother. Hilary Duff and the girl who played, you see that Netflix show? First there's You, and then the Haunted Hill House on the Mansion or some crap. The Haunted of the Hill House? I don't remember the name of it. Oh my God, that does look like Harry Potter.
It does, yeah.
Carrie Underwood, and I don't know who else that is. Colin Farrell, not Colin Farrell.
Yeah, definitely not Colin Farrell. That's pretty close.
Yep.
We saw
Oh
that
God,
one,
they
yeah.
do look a lot alike now. Keira
Yeah.
Knightley and Natalie Portman,
Yeah.
Justin Bieber, and dude, is that not Justin Bieber? Dude, that looks a lot
The
like
one on the
Justin
left has
Bieber.
to be, right?
That's Justin, but it's just eerie. Beyonce and not Beyonce. Whoever this is and whoever that is. These two look a lot alike. Yes, Kurt Russell and the dude.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges. Yes,
Yep.
people confuse him all the time. Yeah, especially now when they got the long hair and the beard. Yeah, it definitely looks very
Turkish Clooney, Indonesian Obama.
similar. Turkish Clooney. I've seen Turkish Clooney before. That's
You
funny.
have? That's funny. Oh my God.
Yeah, they didn't call him Turkish Clooney though.
Oh my God. Look at that. That really is eerily similar. Oh,
Hey, listen, I got to jump off here. Go to
Yeah, it's
bed,
okay. I'm
but,
gonna end
Thank you
it.
so much.
thank you so much to both. Did Brittany get knocked
Yeah.
off? Oh my God. Sorry, Brittany. All right. Well,
I don't know.
thank you so much, Brittany, coming up. It is always up. I would have kept going. You guys
Oh,
have to stop me.
thank
I
you.
kept going like
I'm
that.
sorry.
Thank you
No,
so
I
much.
just looked at
for
the time
coming
and I'm
on.
like, I better go to bed. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
thank you
that's
for
so
having us.
private.
It's so totally fun.
Of course.
I love it.
was
And
fun.
I hate that we didn't necessarily stay on topic. and we want
It's
to cross.
okay.
Yeah,
We have many
you very
more
much.
times to come up. Happy Father's Day. I
Thank you.
hope your day
Yeah.
was spent with lots of love and laughs, and happy Father's Day to everyone in the chat. Thank you for coming on. I look forward to next time.
Yeah, thank you to everyone in chat, and thank you, Brittany, and thank you, Melissa. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Good night. Namaste, everybody. Lots of love and light. Try to spread some positivity, okay? You never know who's going to need it. But thank you for all the laughs, everyone. Sorry for screeching in your ear because I really was cackling there for a bit. But for real, namaste, love, peace, and light to all of you. Good night.